A very good evening to you wherever you're watching us from. My name is Consolata Chibalonza. Thank you very much for choosing EBN TV this wonderful evening. Today we have most of the stories revolving around the teachers' strike, which is on for some institutions and for others. We also have Kawira Mwangaza's office, which was raided today during the day. This and much more following up on our bulletin. Sitting right here, my name is Consolata Chibalonza. The rest in view. Good evening. Now, as schools reopen for the third time earlier on today, teachers under the Kuppet Union have maintained their stance that they will not return to work until the demands have been met. Already, secondary school teachers from the counties of Kajiado, Mombasa, Bungoma, Nakuru, Kisii, and Nyeri have begun their strike and have been seen on the streets carrying banners pressuring their employer, that is the TSC, to address the challenges they face as well as to implement the 2021-2025 Memorandum of Understanding. Kuppet leaders here in Nairobi have warned head teachers against forcing striking teachers to return to work to fight for their rights. Led by the Kuppet branch secretary for Nairobi, Moses Owiti, they have stated that this teacher strike is legally protected.
Committee ready to release press statement following the declaration of the strike of teachers countrywide that was endorsed by the National Governing Council of the Union. The National Governing Council, in the meeting held yesterday, 25th August 2024, endorsed industrial action, and the strike began today morning. This strike is fully protected by law because it complies with every legal and regulatory framework required for such industrial action. The issues in dispute and the reasons why teachers are on strike are the implementation of phase 2 of the 2021-2025 CBA, promotion of 130,000 stagnated teachers, quality of teachers' medical cover, conversion of 46,000 intern teachers, remittance of third-party deductions, commitment to a new CBA, review of the career progression guidelines, allowance for administrators, especially those who are in acting capacity, introduction of postgraduate allowance.
Now, in the counties of Vihiga and Kisumu, Kuppet members have vowed to boycott classrooms until all the issues they have raised are fully addressed. Kuppet Vihiga has criticized their NAT colleagues for calling off their strike.
No medical cover, medical allowance, no class. No promotion, no class. Parents, keep your children away from the schools.
Until we tell you so.
Until we said no going back to class. No teacher should be found in class. Principals, call off the strikes. Tunakuja kusalimia maprincipu ndeduto. We are called a staff meeting. Teachers taking tea in the staff room. Can you get out? We are coming to greet you now. We are not going to class until and unless those demands are made.
As the Vice Chair, we are here to say that we are very disgruntled. We are not happy with our own Minet cover. Teachers are suffering. We are not being told why we have to call our own minute anytime a teacher needs to go to hospital. I don't know why teachers are the only people who have to suffer under this cover. We want that our own minute to be streamlined. We want to go to hospital and be attended to. We don't know what bliss is. Whatever it is, we don't want to be picking our referrals from bliss. Can that insurance cover be streamlined? Tumechoka.
To send a strong message to the National Office of Kuppet. Yes. Yesterday we were in our meeting and we have information some of them have been compromised. Yes. We had to push through this strike because some of them wanted to have this strike cancelled, the way our counterparts in KNUT have done. We want to tell the National Chairman, Omoko Milemba, we want to tell the Secretary General, Wakala Missouri, and your National Executive Board, if you call off this strike, we shall come for you. If you call off this strike, we shall occupy. If you call off this strike, we shall impeach you. We have a problem with our medical cover, which is provided by the employer. This medical cover must be improved. It must be done what? It must be done what? We don't want teachers to die in hospitals. Some of them are making endless phone calls because they cannot be treated.
The Kuppet branch for post-primary education in Mombasa has vowed to hold educational activities until the government listens to their demands as schools reopen for the third term. Police led by Mvita Sub-County Police Commander Maxwell Agoro blocked teachers who had gathered at Uhuru Park along Moi Avenue ready to march while singing songs and carrying banners.
The confirmation of JSS, we want the government to employ an additional 20,000 teachers. We want the government to honor the CBA, not give us promissory notes. We want the government to remit our third-party deductions to our respective banks and institutions to avoid being listed. And we also want the government of Kenya to stop hiring people on cheap labor and converting us into contractual workers. Teaching is not a calling, it's a very serious profession. We are not going to allow anyone here to be turned into a contract worker. Now that the police have not allowed us to conduct our business today to show the world that we have grievances, tomorrow is still a day. We shall come back here tomorrow and we shall do it. We will be here tomorrow, we are coming. I'm going to work tooth and nail to ensure we get the permit. So today, no school, no chalk. Don't show yourself near any teaching institution. Don't behave like a duck. Don't behave like a tortoise. Go home. Naenda jivinjari nyumbani, tunaenda kufanya maandamano kwa mitandao. We are going to start sending messages and salimiaring all those TSC CEOs. We shall share their contacts. We will salimia them until they honor us. Tumeelewana vizuri? Kuppet power. Power. Teachers power. Power. Teachers power. Power. Our unity is our strength. Aturudi shaka hola. Sisi tumeamua tunataka haki yetu. Na tunataka watoto wa wananchi wa Kenya wafundishwe. Mzazi mahali huko, jua mtoto wako kama yuko JSS hasomi. Kule hakuna walimu, wamewekwa watatu na wamepewa mshahara wa 17,000, hawawezi wakafundisha. Tunapigania haki ya mtoto wako, awe asome pia aje awe daktari, awe president, awe nini, lakini sasa serikali haiwezi kuturuhusu. Asanteni sana, endeni nyumbani.
Normally when schools open their doors, there is a flurry of activity, but today the situation was different. Public transport stations remained without students, as many students did not travel to school for the third term. Parents have expressed their concerns about sending students to school when their future remains uncertain due to the teacher strike. Let us hear some of the parents' opinion on the situation.
Walimu wale wengine ya primary wanaendelea na shule, wengine hawaendelei. Sasa sisi tuko hapo. Mr. President, sisi hatutaki kuchanganyikiwa kwa hii Kenya. Kama iko watu ambao wamechanganyikiwa hii Kenya, sisi hatungependa kuchanganyikiwa. Tunataka mipango, sababu kila mtu ako na mipango yake kwa maisha yake na boma yake. Sasa ukikuja saa 6 usiku na kueleza msichana watu ya kwamba mmeacha strike, watoto ndio wanahangaika, wengine wako manyumbani kwa sababu iko wengine hata hawana kitu naitwa TV na hawana kitu naitwa smartphone. Mtu anachunga ng'ombe huko anajua kwamba watu wame strike, kwa hivyo hakuna shule leo. Usiku wa manane mnakuja kusema ya kwamba mumewacha strike.
Sasa anafaa serikali kujua hii mambo ya walimu ile ya chile. Sisi tumeteswa sana na mkomo ya walimu kila mara. Hata mimi nilikuwa nimeleta leo mtoto secondary, anaenda secondary. Ukifika hapa kwa set hapa nasikia amekoma. Kwa hivyo anafaa serikali ya Kenya aweke kabisa mbele walimu na daktari. Sababu hata kama wewe ni minister, hata kama wewe ni rais, umepitia kwa mwalimu ndio akakuja hapa. Kwa hivyo anafaa serikali waangalie walimu.
Mnapo strike ni haki yenu kweli, lakini kwamba tasama sisi tukiwa wazazi, watoto wetu wameanza kusafiri. Kuna watoto wanatoka Samburu wanaenda town Kenya kama Nairobi, Nakuru. Hao watoto wanapofika shule hakuna mwalimu mwenye anaweza kuwapokea na hata kuwachunga. Unahatarisha maisha ya mtoto. So ningeomba ya kwamba mnapofanya strike, mfanye strike kwa wakati inayofaa. Ukiangalia muhula ni watatu. Kuna mtoto anakalia form 4. Huyo mtoto anapokosa masomo atakuwa maanguka, umeharibia maisha yake yote. Maana akianguka form 4 ameshaharibu maisha yake. So ningeomba walimu, hata kama ni strike mnataka, hata kama ni manyongezo mnataka, mungefanya muhula wa kwanza.
A small number of students observed in various schools in Mombasa and Kisumu counties, with many students remaining at home. Although some teachers reported to school, most students did not show up due to fears of being affected by the Kuppet teacher strike. Let's take a look at the situation in Kisumu County.
Today could have been the official opening date for third term, and because of the strike, I may believe that there must be some bit of confusion, because when you look at the number that I've reported today, a class of about 80, we only have 15 children that have reported. And there is almost all the classes, because at most one class has only the highest number is about 35, and one with 35 should be around 85. So majority are still out of school. That is what we've experienced today. But hopefully, I think by tomorrow they may come to school.
Mombasa County parents have been urged to send their children to school despite the ongoing strike by teachers under the Kuppet Union. A survey of secondary schools in Changamwe constituency of Mombasa County showed a low number of students attending, while most teachers were still participating in the strike. Moses Israel, a parent from Bomu Secondary School, said that the strike would have significant negative effects on students, especially those in Form 4, as the syllabus may not be completed on time.
This school watu wote ni 583. As it is right now, nimeuliza only 26 wako skuli. Shona, wengine hawako. Walimu tuna 10 wa TSC, tuna 12 wa BOM. Board teachers wote wamekuja. Lakini walimu wengine wa TSC, none of them is here. None. So tuseme nini? Mimi kama chairman nauliza watoto wangapi wamekuja. Sasa sijui kama wamempigia principal simu ama kumpigia. Hiyo ni responsibility ya principal, ndo atajua, and is not here. Unaona? But the decision is not ours. Mimi kabla sija kuja nasikia kuna watoto wengine walikuja na wakaenda nyumbani. I was not here that time. Unaona? Lakini nasikia walikuja wengine na wakaenda. But as it is right now, tuna candidates 121. Nasikia 11 peke yake ndio wamekuja. Wengine hawajakuja. So sijui parents wao wamekata kuwa release ama ni candidates, 121 candidates. They need to be in school. Wafundishwe, because performance ya watoto, mtoto akiwa nyumbani kusoma ni ngumu. Unaona? Hawezi. Afadhali angekuja skuli, hata angekuja wote shule. Wale walimu wako hapa wa BOM, labda wangefanya some revision na wao.
Elimu ya watoto si swala la kuwekewa siasa. Ni swala la kuhakikisha kwamba watoto wanasoma. especially nikizungumzia katika shule yetu. Sisi tuko na walimu 11 ambao tumewaajiri kama board. So ningesema kwamba walimu wale ambao wameajiriwa na board waende shuleni wapeane elimu yao kama kawaida na kama wanavyohitajika kufanya.
That confusion is there, but automatically to stay with a pupil at home is not better rather than taking a pupil to school. Because once you just leave the people at home, you incur more costs, and also we are parents that we are going to work. How do you leave a pupil alone at home rather than coming to school? Even if teachers are on strike, but there's guidance in school rather than leaving the child at home alone.
And it is an educational bulletin today. Now, the push to make education free in the country continues to gain momentum, with Changamwe Member of Parliament Omar Mwinyi joining National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula and other leaders in directing the creation of laws to overturn all existing legislation and establish a single fund for public education. Mwinyi said that many students are suffering from a lack of school fee, and this move aims to bring hope to parents and students who cannot afford the cost of education.
Leo tunayo basari ya governor ambayo haitoki hapa Mombasa. Tuna basari ya MP, tuna basari ya women rep, tuna presidential basari, na tuna university, kuna help, na tena kuna another fund. Then kuna mashirika tofauti tofauti ambayo inachangia, lakini sasa ubaya ni kwamba hakuna manake taratibu ya kuona kwamba pesa hizi watagawanywa watu kwa mpango kiasi kwamba isijekuwa mwanafunzi mmoja anapata zote na wengine hakuna hata mmoja ambao wanapata, na kusiwepo na hali ya kwamba wengine hawataweza kujiunga na chuo kikuu kwa sababu hawana pesa. So that we were just tulikuwa tunajaribu kuleta mawazo ya kwamba mpaka sasa tutumie mfumo gani ya kwamba watoto wasome wasiwe na pressure wao wala wazazi wao. So anything ambayo serikali italeta sisi tutakubali.
Mfumo wa devolution ni mfumo mzuri sana, unafikia mwananchi wa kawaida wa chini, anapata huduma chini. Lakini sasa iwekwe system kuwa, kwa mfano juzi governor amepata 600 million alihesabu watoto wote shuleni, kila mwanafunzi ilikuwa lazima apate mkono wa governor. Anakura mzazi, hana kura, yule ni taxpayer. Haifai kuangaliwa sijui nani anapiga kura ama nini. Watoto wote wanafaa wapewe equal rights to education. Kwa hiyo ingekuwa hii amepelekea kila mwanafunzi, na hata kama mbunge amepata hii yake, naona wakati mwingine wanatoa 6,000 5,000. Mimi naona ingeangaliwa vizuri, huyu mwanafunzi skuli fulani wanadaiwa pesa ngapi. Hizi pesa ambazo mwanafunzi anadaiwa ikiwa imetoka kwa governor na MP na mimi women rep, tuangalie, tu consolidate, tuangalie hao wanafunzi wote wamelipiwa pesa, wameweza kusoma bila kutoka darasani. Lakini tukisema iende kuwa irrigation national kama vile ilivyokuwa inasema, sasa hii pesa ya kulipa mwalimu peke yake mshahara, mwalimu ameingia barabarani anafanya demonstration. Wizi ambao umekuwa kule national government ndio umefanya hata yani hakuna vile waweza kuweka mikakati ambayo inaweza kalinda pesa ya Kenya. Ni hapa inavyokuja hapa chini, mikakati gani iko yakikishe kuwa huyu kazi anasoma shule fulani na amelipiwa full school fees.
At the same time, leaders from Embu County have opposed proposals to consolidate bursary funds to enable more students to benefit and reduce the burden of school fees on parents. Speaking during a service at Mangao Full Gospel Church, led by Mbere North MP Geoffrey Ruku, the leaders said that their focus should be on addressing the poverty levels of students from arid areas. They reiterated their opposition to consolidating the bursary funds if the issues of bureaucracy are not resolved.
The National Assembly will look at the interrogation, will look at the proposals, whether we are going to merge all these bursaries to ensure we are free basic education, we are free tertiary education in the Republic of Kenya. I know one of the key mandates or one of the key promises of Kenya Kwanza administration is to ensure we can be able to get free education for all students, all children of the Republic of Kenya. This can be done and can be achieved kama kutawezekana kuonekana ya kwamba all the bursary funds can be able to be consolidated is a proposal. But we are not forgetting where you have come from, where all the monies of education were at the top and were not able to trickle down to the very needy in the Republic of Kenya. But if it's about free education in Kenya, where no parent will be paying any penny, especially the parent of the most vulnerable groups in the Republic of Kenya, parents who live in such a marginalized area, impaired enough that we can be able to get free education, then that is something which we can be able to look at in the National Assembly. Lakini mkumbuke ya kwamba we have history where we are coming from, where resources are at the top and they never get to the grassroots.
Kama kuna maneno ya kuleta basari zote pamoja ili shule zote zikuwe free of charge, me I support 100%. Mashule zikuwe free, watoto wetu wasome bila kuulizwa hata shilingi moja. Lakini kama tunaweka pesa pamoja, ndio irudi serikali kuu ianze kupewa process kubwa ya applications, inaweza mtoto ya Manyata hatapata bursaries, akiangaika huku atakuwa anapiga milango, then I am totally against it, kwa sababu ya bureaucracy ile imekuwa kwa ministries zile tumetengenezewa.
Lastly, on education, Principal Secretary Belio Kipsang has urged teachers to return to work and focus on preparing students for the upcoming exams, highlighting the government's efforts in supporting the education sector. Speaking during a school visit, PS Kipsang pointed out that despite fiscal changes, the government has allocated 13.3 billion for the implementation of the CBA and over 18 billion shillings for junior school teachers. He expressed gratitude towards teachers who have stood by their students during this critical period, noting the short 8-week term leading up to the exams in October. To ensure schools are well prepared, the government has released 21.8 billion in capitation funds, including 14 billion for secondary schools and 6 billion Kenyan shillings for junior schools.
Our colleagues, the teachers, mainly the CUPET, should acknowledge what government has done, notwithstanding the fiscal difficulties that we are facing at this particular time. But government has gone out of its way, provide 13.3 billion shillings for implementation of CPA. More than 18 billion shillings, as already mentioned by the CS and the chair of budget committee, for purposes of dealing with our junior school teachers. So I think we need to acknowledge the goodwill that government is showing and focus on preparing our children for examinations that they'll be doing in another 1 month in October. So I think to a very large extent, we have done our part of the bargain as government. And we are asking our colleagues in CUPET, and I thank our colleagues in our primary sector for appreciating the fact that this is time that we have to stand with our children. This school, as the principal, as the head teacher has already told us, they have 38 teachers. The 38 teachers were here. A number of our children were here this morning. And I know most of them usually settle down on the second day. But from what I've seen quite a number of children who are here, which is very good. But the most important thing, I would want to thank our teachers for standing with our children. We all know that this is a very short term, almost 8 weeks before we start our examinations. So as teachers, we know that we have very short time to settle down and prepare our kids for assessment and examination. Assessment for grade 6, the Kipsang, and examinations for our KCSE candidates.
Away from education matters, President William Samoei Ruto has issued a directive to the Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Interior and National Security to provide weapons training to youths joining the NYS Training Institute. He made the statement while presiding over the graduation ceremony of 14,600 recruits at the NYS Training College in Gilgil, Nakuru County after they had completed more than 2 years of training. Additionally, the president stated that this move will enhance national security strategies by supporting security officers. The president also noted that the government aims to increase the number of youths joining NYS from 15,000 to 20,000 students annually. Moreover, he promised to tackle corruption that has hindered the operations of NYS, emphasizing the importance of NYS to the nation's youths and pledging reforms that will support their development agenda.
All security agencies must give first priority to our National Youth Service men and women because of their demonstrated discipline and capability and their training in paramilitary training. Let me also say that the minister responsible for National Youth Service, who is here with me, should, in consultation with the Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Interior, further the initiative to make sure that the paramilitary training that these young men and women go through will include a basic course in firearms to make sure that they stand ready to protect the country when the need arises. Additional initiatives have been undertaken to improve the terms of service within the organization and to embrace digital transformation that enhance transparency and efficiency in NYS operations. This commitment to accountability and service excellence is necessary because the government is committed to deliver full value for every shilling of public resources, and also because the legacy of corruption, wastage, and inefficiency, which has haunted this organization for over a decade, must be banished for good. As the nation's foremost steward of public resources, I am determined to transform NYS into a symbol of exemplary integrity, efficiency, and commitment to national transformation. I have no doubt in my mind that NYS has what it takes to be this great institution.
Now, some activists have announced plans to hold protests tomorrow, that is Tuesday, to mark 14 years since the Constitution was enacted, aiming to push for changes. These new demonstrations are expected to spark another wave of anti-government protests, which began in June this year. The activists, largely consisting of youths, have condemned the increase in cases of abductions, while others are planning to demonstrate on the 9th of next month to oppose the new funding system for higher education.
Tomorrow, August 27, Katiba Day, will not just be a day of commemoration. It will be a day of mass action. We are announcing a general strike, a protest against the tyranny of William Ruto, and a demand for his immediate resignation. We will not rest until justice is done.
We cannot continue living in an active crime scene and do nothing about it. We cannot continue with the wake of corruption, with the wake of abductions, with the wake of police killings, with the wake of everything wrong that is going on in this government.
We are inviting you tomorrow, as the Katiba turns 14, at 14:00 hours. We are asking you to take a short break and ask yourself whether this constitution that gives us and grants us these rights has been respected.
I want to call upon all comrades and parents, whether from Turkana, whether from Sugoi, whether from Eldoret, to come out in large numbers on 9th of September. We are going to be on the roads and we are going to march in solidarity. We are not going to be stopped. We are not going to fear anyone.
Wazazi, ikiwa hamtajiunga na watoto wenu Gen Z, basi muanze kujiandaa kutafuta watoto wengine. Manake wito wetu ni kwamba tutakomboa taifa la Kenya within our generation.
Parents suffer because they cannot afford to pay the fees. Now, which article or which process is arrived at allocating the funds?
We want to go back to the old model, which was so inclusive. There's no student who was not funded by the university.
We are undertaking a mass action, a general strike, a people-led agitation for the respect of our constitution. Our political class has decided to do nothing but subvert the sanctity of our constitution.
Our operations were disrupted at the office of Meru County Governor Kawira Mwangaza as angry residents caused a commotion demanding her removal from office. The furious residents marched to the governor's office protesting against her return to office after the Senate passed a motion from the county's ward representatives seeking to remove her from leadership. Security officers had a difficult time dealing with the protesters and resorted to tear gas to disperse them. The residents set fires outside the county headquarters and a game of cat and mouse between the officers and the protesters continued.
Wamejitokeza na tumesema hii ni warm up. Kuanzia kesho, leo alisinika asubuhi na gari ambayo ina number plate. Kesho asubuhi by 5 atupata hapo na tuzuia hata ingia kwa hiyo ofisi. Kwa maana tunajua hiyo ofisi ni ya Reverend Mutuma Ntwethinkia kama governor wa 4 wa Meru County. Former governor Kawira Mwangaza ana mamlaka yoyote kwa hiyo ofisi.
Tunasema Kawira hata hiyo budget amesign ni illegal. Ni kama mtu kama huyu aende asign budget ama hata mimi ni sign governor budget. Sababu Kawira is already an impeached governor. Na sisi wakaaji wa Meru tunasema Kawira tumechoka.
Tunataka kusema namna hii. Tunaomba court yetu, national government na court watafsiri kwa haraka sana venye hiyo onda inasema. Maanake hiyo onda imekanganya wananchi hata hawajielewi. Sisi hatujui hata ni vipi inasema. Kwa hivyo tunasema within the range of 10 days tuwe tumeambiwa hiyo sheria inasema namna gani. Ndiposa Meru watu wapate amani. Mama lazima afanye nini? Watu ndio watoto wetu waweze kusoma vizuri. Mama lazima afanye nini?
Finally, civil society organizations have called on the county government and the county assembly to hasten the creation of climate legislation and policies to help Mombasa County benefit from climate change funding. In March, the government, in collaboration with development partners, secured 39.3 billion Kenyan shillings to launch a climate funding initiative. This program, funded by the World Bank, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, and the Netherlands, aims to implement locally led climate resilience measures and enhance the national and county government's ability to manage climate change risks. The program is being implemented in 45 counties except for Mombasa and Nairobi. Mofat Mutero, the executive director of Mashinani Watch, expressed surprise that out of the 47 counties, only Mombasa and Nairobi have not yet met the FLLOCA requirements under the National Treasury, urging for this to be expedited to mitigate the impacts of climate change.
It is a shock, a disbelief to realize that Mombasa County government, out of 47 counties in Kenya, only Nairobi and Mombasa County have not complied with the requirement of FLOCA, which is a program under the National Treasury. And other 45 counties have already complied. And we have realized we have got only 4 requirements that are needed for every county to comply. And that is coming up with an act, a climate resilience act that will guide that plan, then coming up with a policy document, then coming up with a budget for the same. And when we mention the budget of the same is out of the annual budget that is allocated to Mombasa County, you just reserve like 2 or 3%, so that the National Treasury and the FLOCA can come in and assist with the other percentage. Then the fourth one is having a participatory climate risk assessment report, so that the people of Mombasa can be involved in making decisions. Our worry is that as key players in this plan is that Mombasa County, for years, we have been having problems of environment, drainage, dam site, and other related issues concerning environment.
In the process, I'm here to push for the county government of Mombasa so that we can see this opportunity that is before us and be able to take action that will be helpful to our community.
Now that marks the end of EBN TV Prime News. My name is Consolata Chibalonza. Thank you very much for being with me from the very start to the very end. And until next time, God bless.